We've got a great little freebie for you today, perfect for Father's Day, which is coming up, and maybe even a 4th of July barbecue or any summer barbecue for that matter. It's a good little size. You can fill it with chips or little candies for the kids. And actually, sky's the limit really. So I'm excited to see how you guys use this. And it's pretty simple. Again, very easy to put together. And you know, if you want to make a bunch of these, you should be able to do this pretty quick. So I have all the pieces here in front of me, and it's, well, you've got the actual watermelon on both sides. So we're gonna put together, well, we'll put together both sides, but so here's the main structure here. I already kind of pre-folded it. I did cut this with my Cricut maker, so I did do solid score lines on this, which is also included in your extras folder. And there's a good chance that, well, you may be watching this video because you emailed me and asked about inking and how to ink. So since this is a quick video, I figured I would throw in a few more little tidbits here. And there are actually more than just this video on inking. I've got feature my little inking tutorials in a lot of the videos, but this will be another one. So first things first, I'm gonna actually ink this once we get it put together, but let's just start with the, well, this is the red part of the watermelon, the meat as we'll call it. And when I think a darker color for something like this, I use my Memento inks. It's called Rhubarb Stalk. That is the specific color here. And I've got these little ink applicators. And by the way, this would be a good opportune time for me to mention, and let me bring it up here. I've got the official Dreaming Tree app here. So if you want to kind of in the palm of your hand, have a link to the general supplies that we use, just download the app, do a search for Dreaming Tree on either the Google Play or Apple App Store, and you can click on supplies, and you'll see here that, well, pretty much everything that I'm using in this video is listed here. There's not a lot of stuff, but here are the little alcohol ink applicator pads by Ranger. You can literally click this link. It'll take you directly on Amazon, I think, yep. As well as the Memento inks. Okay, so there's a link to that as well. And one other thing that I'll be using in this video is the Silhouette Pick-Me-Up tool. And there's a link to that as well. So grab the app, it's super handy. And then you won't have to waste time emailing me and asking where to get this stuff. It's all right there. I don't mind, you know, letting you know where I got it, but it's all there on the app for you. So anyway, so I typically what I'll do is I'll grab my little ink applicator and I'll dab this a little bit. And on a scrap piece of paper, I'm just using this notepad. I don't actually have cardstock handy. I'll rub some of it off so that I don't get too much on there. And this is the method that I use when I want to be very precise with, you know, where I'm actually applying the ink. And I'm going to try to go a little bit heavier on this because I really want it to show through. And what I'm really doing here is just kind of grazing the surface a little bit as I'm hitting the edges here. And it's giving me a very subtle inking there. But once we get everything together and this is up against something, you can kind of see how the contrast shows up more there than it does there, but against a white piece of paper. But that's really it. And you know, if you're working on a project that I recommend that you ink, my suggestion and recommendation would be just to grab a scrap piece of paper and practice your inking before you commit to the final project. Okay, so just going around, and it's kind of a muscle memory thing, just like playing an instrument or anything that involves muscle memory, a sport, knitting, you know, things of that nature. Even, you know, whipping up scrambled eggs. You know, you get that motion in your hand, and you're good. So I think I'm just gonna do the sides here. I'm gonna leave the top alone. So I kind of want that color just around the edges there. Okay, so I'll do that again since I've got my red out. And that's really it. And you know, it depends on well, it's up to you, I should say, how little or how much you want this ink to really have an impact on your project. So you could go very light, or you could go even heavier. If you want it to be, you know, even heavier, you may want to try to find an even darker red color. This one's pretty deep as it is. And, you know, if you push harder or get more ink on there, you can make it darker and deeper. And that's up to you. So again, if you've got a scrap piece of paper, obviously there's, you know, when you cut this piece out, you're going to get some scrap. You can use that to kind of test it out, again, before you commit. So I'm digging the overall end result here, and I'll be happy with it. Okay, so we're going to ink the red with a darker red. And then there's some other pieces here that I'm also going to ink. And let's take a look here. This box, again, we're going to ink that with some dark green. And let's see here. These two pieces here are actually panels that are going to go inside to kind of hide the tabs and to make it a little more, well, a little more stiff. Okay, so now this, this color here, I'm going to use on my glitter. Okay, it's kind of a chartreuse. It's called Pear Tart. It's kind of a mix between yellow and green, which is kind of what a chartreuse is. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a little bit here. Now, the one thing that I've noticed is with this kind of glitter, it's almost kind of abrasive. These ink pads, what they kind of do is, well, they leave a little bit of fuzzies behind on this type of glitter. There's also, I think it's called POW glitter, which has the look of glitter, but is a little, it's kind of smooth. It doesn't have that you know, almost glass-like texture. It's like a fake or faux glitter. So that you probably won't, you can see how there's a little bit of a wispies here and there from, and you can see what's happening to that. It's kind of, you know, causing it to wisp and fray a little bit. And that's okay. Still gets the job done, and what I'll end up doing is just kind of either cutting off or just pulling off this stuff here and just throwing that away. And I'm going to move on to my next little piece here. I'll do the same thing because, again, it's two-sided. And I mean, that's really it. It's a very simple inking technique. Now, sometimes when I do flowers, projects that involve flowers and a lot of leaves, and there's a lot of shading involved, there's a additional little, almost looks like a stamp applicator that this can stick onto. That kind of gives me a better handle on it and allows me to get more surface area in a shorter period of time. I'm not going to demonstrate that right now because it doesn't really apply to this project, but I have used that before, and you'll see that when the time calls for it. And let's see what else are we doing here. I think that's all the inking we're doing on that until we get this thing put together. So I typically like to work flat whenever possible, so I'm going to continue that notion. And what we're going to do here is, let me move these little seeds out of the way. Another little tip here, I don't think it's going to be necessary, but the glitter, sometimes this is that black glitter here. It's a white core, so it's white on the sides here. If you have some black ink and you want to kind of make it look more consistent, you can hit the edges of this with a little bit of black. Okay, not necessary, but could be cool. Okay, so there is the first piece that we're going to glue together here. So I'm going to get my glue onto my red piece here. Let me just clean my glue bottle too, and it's already starting to kind of clog up a little bit, but that's okay. All right, so get your glue on there, and you'll notice that on this piece here, the white piece, in my case, the glitter piece, there are a couple of markers here on the top left and the top right to help you with the alignment and centering of this red piece. Okay, so I'm just gonna use those guides to help me ensure that I get this nice and centered. And we're gluing cardstock onto glitter paper. and it's holding very well. Sometimes when you glue glitter to glitter, not so well. Okay, and we'll do the same thing on this side here, and then we'll apply our, I was almost going to say pumpkin seeds. Same family. Right size, wrong shape. We're going to apply our watermelon seeds here in just a moment. Okay, so get that centered between those two little markers. Make sure that you got it right in the correct spot. Oops, and there you go. There's my glue not playing nice. I'm going to try that one more time. Hello. There we go. Okay, get that nice and centered. Press that down, let it set. And I think, there we go. I'm going to put that over to the side for a second, and then we'll grab this one here. And this is kind of where the pick-me-up tool comes in handy. And what we can do, two little things here. Sometimes I use this when I'm applying pearls, rhinestones, or small embellishments. I'll put a little bit of glue on a piece of paper, like so. And I'll take my small, tiny little piece. This pick-me-up tool has a little bit of a tacky substance on the end. And I can literally just kind of dip it and apply my glue and then just kind of smear it and flatten it out a little bit and then pick it up. And you'll notice that on this red piece here, there are a series of markers, and those markers are just kind of for the tips of the watermelon seeds. Just try to make sure that their orientation is nice and straight up and down. Okay, so just kind of dab this into the glue, and it might get stuck here and there, but the tackiness should be strong enough on the pick-me-up tool to pick it up. Okay, there we go. And I can kind of use the side of this thing to adjust that ever so slightly. That's fine. Okay, grab my next one. So you get the idea here. We're just going to apply the seeds, and you're going to do that to both sides. I'm not going to bore you with doing that, 10 times or however many seeds there are. So you want to make sure that you just get all your seeds on. Otherwise, well, I guess if you want a seedless watermelon, that's fine, but obviously you want to kind of keep it romantic, keep it non-GMO. Okay, there we go. The pick-me-up tool also has a little piece here. Let me find it. There it is. It comes with this little piece on the other side. It's got a little pick, and then kind of like this flat little edge on the other side, and that is either you can use your finger if you want, but they give you that other tool for this purpose. So once you kind of get this in place, right about there, you can use the other end of this to hold that down while you lift up the tool to kind of free it from the tool. Okay. It's a really helpful piece when you're working with really small pieces, letters, or little pieces like this, embellishments, rhinestones, anything tiny that maybe your fingers just are having a hard time picking up. And it just really makes quick work out of tasks like this, makes it more enjoyable. So I definitely recommend picking one of these up. I have a bunch of these, and I kind of cycle through probably like 6 of them in my drawer here. Oops. But I don't think I've ever run out of the tackiness in one of these. Occasionally you just kind of peel it off and throw it away, and then you squeeze or rotate this, kind of compresses it and makes more of it come out, like a fresh little batch comes out here. You just kind of rip it off and throw that away. But I think I've got all the seeds for that side. Again, these are going to go on the other side. I'm not going to bore you with that. And while this is still flat, let's just get this glued down, and then we can assemble the actual structure here. And on the white or the green piece here, there are also some markers to help you with the placement of this piece, just to get it nice and centered. You could probably eyeball it, but we'll take the guesswork out of it and make it easy for you. And again, you fill this with pretty much anything. Small little handful or two of some chips or some popcorn, or even watermelon candies, which is what I'm gonna do just for the photo for the website. Okay, so that's gonna get glued on like that. And there you go, you can see you got a nice little watermelon. And that chartreuse on the white glitter really kind of makes it look like the, you know, that really watery part of the rind that some people don't like. I kind of like it. It's kind of tart and watery. All right, so we'll get the other one on here. And just flip this over. Don't forget to put the seeds on yours. I'm just doing this to kind of speed things up here so you don't get bored. I'm sure you got better things to do than watch me put seeds on a paper watermelon. Okay, all right, so pretty much done. I bet you could probably even do this with a child. I bet this would be kind of fun for a child. All right, so again, you wanna make sure that you bend everything at the score marks, bend the tabs over as well. And then literally, this is not a round piece because we didn't want to create a bunch of work for, you know, these items here that are probably just going to be disposed of. So, but it still has a good look to it. So with that said, let's grab our glue and just start gluing our tabs down. I'm going to work on one side here at a time. So just very sparsely throw some glue on just maybe one or two of these tabs. And you can see how they connect because it is angular here. It's not round. So just match it up with the little area there and then get the next one in place and push that down into place as well. You can use your table. You can push down from the inside like that, okay? And then once you get the first two, you can kind of bend the other two out of the way and get some glue on there. And just tuck those back in and behind and just match that up nicely and right there. And then again, kind of use your table. Typically when you have a table that you can push down onto, it really helps that glue work itself into the little nooks and crannies on the paper there, and it gets it to stick a lot quicker. Okay, so I'm just going to head over to the other side and just repeat the same process. There's 4 tabs, well, 8 tabs to each side, so a total of 16 tabs that you're going to glue down. And it does help to kind of get that glue out to the very edge of these tabs just so that everything sticks nicely. I'm gonna get wild here with my watermelon, and I'm going to try to do all 4 at a time here. Typically I don't like to do that because the glue dries pretty quick, but I think all the tabs are in such close proximity and they're pretty small, so I think you could totally do it, and it looks like, yeah, definitely can do that. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to throw that down on my table and push from the inside to really get that glue to seep through. Okay, and I'm just going to repeat the same thing on the other side now with the remaining tabs. And once we're done with this, we've got these 2 little pieces here that we are going to put on the inside to make this thing a little more sturdy and cover up those little tabs in there just to make it look nice and seamless. Okay, I'm just going to dab that glue down. That will help it kind of get more surface area there on the tab, and then it will also help it set a lot quicker as well. So we're not sitting here waiting for this to dry forever. But that looks really nice, especially with the solid score lines. Again, I don't use them all the time, especially on structural pieces where ultimately things are going to be hidden anyway. You're not going to see them because we got like a panel or something that goes over it. And then this little piece here, here's another little tip that I use all the time. You know, how am I going to get my nozzle in there? I could kind of pull this back, but you know, I don't want to rip anything apart or ruin anything. So what I'll do is I'll just take a little bit of glue and I'll just paint it into that little area there for that tab. Okay, and then I'll quickly get my glue on the remaining 3 tabs. Just kind of dab them a little bit, and voila. Just get that in place and just work my way up. Just one quick little squeeze on each of these tabs should do the trick. And there we go. Cute little container, done. And as I mentioned, Let me just push this down real quick and make sure I got it. We've got these little liner pieces here, and those are just going to get glued to the inside here, just to kind of clean it up and cover it up. So what I'd recommend doing is just throwing a little bit of glue towards the bottom there, a little bit towards the outside, and then a nice line of glue right up at the top. And then what I would do is just kind of spread that glue out to the very edge, the top edge there. Okay, and then pop your little liner in. Get it nice and matched up with the very top there. Kind of use your finger, run it along the top. Make sure you got it in the right spot, and then you can press down. Okay, and there you go. You can see how nice and clean that looks on the inside. And we're just going to repeat the same process on the other side here. So let's just do that. And then a nice thin line right up at the top. And just take that and spread that out all the way to the edge. I might have went a little crazy there with the glue. That's okay. And it's just nice and easy. Pop it in there. And just kind of running my finger along the very top here, just to make sure it's nice and level and even. And don't forget your other seeds. And voila, there we go. Okay, beautiful. Super cute, actually. I thought it was going to be a little bit bigger, but I'm glad it's not, because I think it's just the right size. All right, so what I'll do now is I'm going to grab my, have I not done this yet? AC green, ink edges. Yeah, okay, that's fine. You know what? So I have this chartreuse color on here, but this color is going to overpower it, so I can definitely reuse this. For the dark green, if I get a little bit of chartreuse on there, it's not the end of the world. And then I'm just going to take this and hit the very edges here, because the outer part of our watermelon is always going to be a deeper, richer sort of green, and we want that to show through so that it's got a lot of dimension and well, layers to it, I guess we'll call them. There we go. That looks nice. And again, you don't have to do the inking. It really adds to it, but if you're short on time, I'm not sure how many people are consciously going to, be aware of all these little nuances, and you make the call. If you want to spend the time doing it, you should, because it does look cool. And I'm going to hit it on this side too. I don't think I'm gonna do the bottom. It's kind of pointless since they're gonna be sitting on a table anyway. And I'm gonna hit it from this angle here. Get a little more on there. There we go, that looks cute. And then I'll probably just hit the edge up here too. There we go, cool. So I may even put a little bit of crinkle fill in here, and I've got some special little candies that I'm going to put in here. Some of them are actually watermelon candies, and then maybe some rock candy as well, just to kind of fill it out slightly. And it is ready for a child or whoever, anybody that is attending your fun little barbecue for the summer, this upcoming summer, coming soon to the Northern Hemisphere. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. If you did, please take a moment and hit that subscribe button. That lets me know that you enjoy crafting with me, and I love watching those numbers go up. And if you make this or anything from our last bundle, the Grillin' and Chillin' bundle for Father's Day and beyond, we'd love to see it. So join us in the official group on Facebook by doing a search for Dreaming Tree Group in your Facebook search, and join myself and the almost 13,000 other dreamers that inspire us daily. So thanks for hanging out with me, and I look forward to crafting with you again.
Stay on top of all things Dreaming Tree and engage with us today. Get the latest news and enter in our giveaways on Facebook. Get inspired by following us on Pinterest. Be the first to see our new product launches on Instagram. Do you prefer Twitter? Yep, we're there too. Watch our beautiful product trailers and assembly tutorials on YouTube. For more information, visit www.dreamingtree.com. www.3dsvg.com. Live, craft, love, and dream.